First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Wes Wally Group on making the innovative ice cream design known as Campana's Biscotti Crema. They thought of a lot of ideas to make their ice cream seemingly foolproof, with the addition of sugar-free ingredients and decaffeinated coffee. But there are some underlying gaps in the process that I would like to bring up in the decision making. Handing it off to Shamal.
The Wes Wally Group claims that the target market, which is aged between 50 and 60-year-olds, mainly use Facebook, showing that 92% of their target market uses Facebook, and they believe it is a useful resource to use for marketing. However, after conducting some research, it was found that 72% of Facebook users are aged between 50 and 64. After conducting some research of my own, where I had males and females between the ages of 50 and 60 participating in a small survey to further back up this research. From the primary research that was conducted, we can see that most individuals do not use Facebook. They mainly use Facebook for the messaging purpose. Therefore, they are not exposed to the current news feed that others are exposed to. However, when communicating this to the current age group, they stated that Facebook advertisements would be the best way to pitch their item to the public. An issue with this is that Facebook advertisements are based on an individual's cookies and their IP address. Therefore, it means depending on what an individual searches on Google, they will see these advertisements. This will not be seen as an appropriate form of communication to expose their brand to the public, as the primary research shows that most people do not use Facebook, nor do they search up ice cream on the web, therefore limits their chances of seeing Campana's Biscotti Crema advertisements. From the research that was conducted, we can see that all participants from the ages of 50 and 60 of this primary research do not believe that an espresso flavored ice cream would be ideal. We concluded that the ice cream flavor was not ideal for this target market because couples who are in their mid-50s and 60s and who have no kids at home tend to change the way they eat. Therefore, they will be opting towards a low-calorie diet, which results to weight loss. In primary research, we concluded that the ice cream flavor was not ideal for this target market. Where couples who are in their mid-50s and 60s have no kids at home, they tend to change the way they eat. Therefore, they're opting towards a low-calorie diet, which results to weight loss. A specialist said from the Everyday Health stated that people should be aiming towards a low-calorie diet, which ensures they are on the right path to a successful diet. They also stated that an individual were to have a dessert, then it should be substituted with something low-calorie and organic. The results from my research show that having an espresso dessert was not a viable option for 80% of my respondents, due to the fact that the dessert is an item that should be consumed after dinner. Therefore, it means that they'll be having after their meal. Thank you.
I would like to bring attention towards the name of the ice cream. The length of the ice cream name is too long and hard to say. Campana's Biscotti Crema. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? I would say that brands usually opt for a one-word phrase that is easy to remember. This would tie in with week one's topic market behavior and strategy effect. Secondly, Wes Wally decided to market their ice cream to a niche audience of 50 to 60-year-olds. Their primary advertising strategy was to make ads on Facebook. They include so-called evidence with this, but are unable to provide further information, leaving audiences to guess whether the information at hand was legitimate or not. Not only that, but the research was only between two social media sites, Instagram and Facebook, and failed to include other forms of media, including television and radio, which the older generation will most likely use more. When I researched the primary target audience, I found that social media was utilized a lot less in this age bracket, and that even though it is sometimes utilized, something like television ads will be a lot more successful. In my opinion, both social media and television ads should be used to cater for their entire audience. Wes Wally came to this solution through research and development. This is to gain better information on their audience to eventually influence by behavior, a topic in which we discussed in week one, which looks at influences and what companies do, whether it's to incorporate colors, slogans, sound, or even the platform which they advertise in an attempt to sway customers to buy their product. Porter introduces the new ice cream as Italian authenticity when referring to the coffee part of the ice cream. But as we learn later on, the coffee is decaffeinated, which makes the branding seem misleading, as genuine Italian coffee leads consumers to believe that ice cream is made from Italian coffee beans, which of course are not decaffeinated unless changed, therefore no longer authentic. This reflects on week 5's topic, motivation, personality, and emotion, as within that unit we discuss McGuire's physiological motives, the first rule of which is the need for consistency. Audiences want things to make sense, which decaffeinated authentic coffee unfortunately doesn't. Another point that I'd like to bring up is that Julia Thompson mentioned that they would share the ice cream with their whole family and kids. Knowing the coffee flavor, I would expect that isn't very healthy for young kids, and the chocolate coating will only provide further health detriments to not only kids but adults. Personally, I've had members of my family who have had heart attacks within this age bracket. There were 2 things that caused this: an unhealthy diet and smoking. Although when we look deeper into the problem, we discovered that drinking coffee late at night also increases the chances for heart failure dramatically. You see, what this means is that for people aged between 50 and 60 who lived in a generation where almost half the population smoked, is that a dessert that is eaten, usually late at night after dinner, that increases your heart rate is extremely lethal for non-healthy consumers. Also, I would like to add that decaffeinated coffee uses different coffee beans. This provides the same taste as normal coffee, but without the caffeine. How is this possible? We at MIB Solutions have done our research and found that a new type of bean is used in decaffeinated coffee, which has an increased amount of fat. This means that decaffeinated coffee is more unhealthy in certain aspects. The flavor of the ice cream is a total mystery, as I do understand adults enjoy their coffee, but reaching the 59 to 60 range, I feel like even adults will start to look after their health. The mix of coffee and chocolate might not only provide an unhealthy alternative, but health detriments. That ice cream also contains biscotti and milk. The problem I have with this is that a lot of consumers are allergic to milk and the almonds present within biscotti. This makes their audience even more niche, which will only decrease their sales.
Thank you, Jackson. MIB Foods have evaluated a stronger and more effective strategy when it comes to our product, and a healthy portion of this comes directly from the product's display and packaging. Although Campana's Biscotti Crema has a somewhat luscious packaging, they lock a small target market through highly culturally affiliated packaging and an extremely specific flavor profile. With notions to Italy all over the packet, it's extremely clear that this product is purely intended for Italians. And not only that, this product is only for those who like coffee ice cream. This also may act as a potential deterrent to customers. Our product, however, organic vanilla and almond, offers a much more inclusive flavor profile, while also seeming appealing and healthy with low calories per serving. According to some primary research conducted on 50 to 60-year-old people, 65% reported that they prefer vanilla flavored ice cream over coffee flavored ice cream. Also in the survey, we put a side-by-side comparison of 2 of the ice cream packages, and approximately 70% of respondents claimed that the MIB packaging was more appealing than the Campana packaging. It's clear through this primary research and the overall design that the MIB Foods product is much more likely to be successful than the Campana product. Off to James.
The ice cream market, without a doubt, is a competitive, ever-changing juggernaut built upon the foundations of consumer tastes and trends. It is estimated that the organic ice cream market is expected to reach 1.2 billion by 2025, further outlining the importance of diversifying our premium, low-calorie, healthy indulgence to fulfill the demands of our consumers in targeting our target market of 50 to 60-year-olds. Strategies such as TV adverts, mail orders, use of imagery, and online orders allow for our product to reach our consumers efficiently and effectively over our competitors' Where's Wally, Biscotti, Creme. Primetime adverts, such as during popular channels, allow for our product to reach maximum coverage, whilst also allowing for maximum viewership and opportunities as well, with the inclusion of mail orders, so sending samples and distributing samples to targeted areas where we know that there's at least 50 to 60-year-olds, will allow our product to essentially have an increased possible clientele. The inclusion of brochures as well and pamphlets distributed evenly across the district will also allow for our customers to also be informed about various other products, but also up and coming products as well. Online shopping as well is a form of electronic commerce which allows us to communicate directly with the consumer in buying our product directly over the internet using a web browser. When an online store is set up, it enables businesses to buy from other businesses. This process is formally known as business-to-business online shopping, and as such, protocols and distribution outlets such as click and collect that has been widely dominated now, especially during the COVID-19, will allow us to distribute our product evenly and, I guess, fairly. According to primary data as well, over the past 2, maybe 4 years, TV adverts have dominated the 50 to 60-year-old markets, as we've seen a 6.5% increase as opposed to other forms or other ages. This shift away from commercial TV viewing since 2015 coincides with the rise of internet-based entertainment. However, ages 50 and up have maintained a strong demographic watch time of TV adverts as opposed to social media adverts. We'll now be finishing off with Jackson.
Thank you very much, James. And lastly, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to our report on why Where's Wally had a few gaps in the information. And I'd like to thank MIB for working with these classy gentlemen. And thank you for listening.